All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back with a new video, broski. That's right. So in this video, you could call this an Q&A educational video. Again, we're going to do another educational video. I posted this in my community section, and you know me. People are always asking me, whatever you post, could you please make a video on it and kind of explain it? Well, I've talked about protein synthesis outpacing protein breakdown before. It has many, many, many benefits, unlike exercise, which has zero benefits. I'm gonna say this one more time to everybody out there, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate, but that's okay. You could ponder this forever. Exercise does not have any benefits like protein synthesis does. Okay? Really simple. You can't compare the two. You have protein, you have exercise, which breaks down protein, and you have real protein, which you're eating, which actually exceeds that breakdown. You understand me? It outpaces it. Therefore, it's more beneficial. In other words, you don't need exercise to preserve motor units or preserve muscle. Like, oh, I need to maintain my muscle by lifting weights in the gym. How does lifting weights maintain muscle in a gym? How does it maintain muscle? It breaks down proteins, right? So how does that maintain it if you're breaking down proteins? That makes absolutely zero sense. Or I'm going to do exercise and it's going to lead to longevity. I'm going to live longer because I'm going to do exercise, and the exercise is going to maintain the motor units and the muscle mass. No, it's not. Exercise is not going to maintain motor units or muscle mass. You want to know what's going to maintain it without doing any exercise? Any exercise. Want to know what's going to maintain motor units and your muscle mass and your explosive power and your health and longevity and you from deteriorating faster than you're aging and all that kind of shit? Guess what it is? I'm going to explain it to you right now in this video. Yes, if muscle protein synthesis, MPS, consistently outpaces muscle protein breakdown, MPB, it prevents muscle deterioration and the loss of what? Motor units. So when you get this guy called Tony, I am longevity guy, I am longevity, Tony from I am longevity, and that old guy that's like 60, that looks like he's 95 or 100, well, guess what? He's trying to convince you that exercise, jumping up and down, is going to preserve these motor units. No. If you keep doing that, you're going to lose motor units. You understand me? Over time, and if you don't, and here's the other thing, if you keep doing that over time and you lose muscle mass, and doing that running around and deteriorating faster than you're aging, you're going to lose these motor units. But you know what's going to prevent the loss of motor units without doing any exercise? When protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown, you're going to wear off the deterioration in muscle, right? And your skin, your look, your bones, and all that. And the loss of what? These motor units, which is the key aspect of maintaining muscle mass. Look, it's the key aspect. When protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown, is the key aspect to maintaining muscle mass. Strength, you're going to be strong. And overall physical function. Overall physical function. It doesn't say exercise here. Get it? It doesn't say exercise, bro. It says when protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown. That's what it says. It doesn't say exercise. Yeah, dude. Muscle mass is determined by the balance between these two processes. When protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown. And a prolonged net gain in protein synthesis leads to an increase in muscle fiber size. Get it? Over time. And performance, known as hypertrophy. Well, I mean, if I stay long enough, that's why I say, if I stay long enough at the buffet and I keep staying in this net positive protein balance, right, will my booted there. So if I stay at the buffet and protein synthesis, it exceeds the breakdown. So will I see over a long period of time, will my mass increase? Well, probably, most likely, the muscle mass will increase because I'm consistently, what does it say here? The gain in protein synthesis leads to an increase in muscle fiber size performance. A prolonged net protein gain in protein synthesis, prolonged. Well, have I been doing it long enough? Well, I don't know. 2 months is just about 2 months now, almost. Not that, just about now. That started in the summertime again, being like really, really anabolic. So will that do that? What's a prolonged period of time? I don't know. A prolonged period of time doing this, what? 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, maybe 7 months? I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? I would have to put it to the test to do it long enough. Now, I've never done it just by itself without doing exercise, building muscle. So I wouldn't know. I would have to put it to the test. But they say doing it prolonged enough, so they obviously did a test in science. They did a test already on it. So if you do it prolonged period of time, then guess what? It says you're going to hypertrophy. So I'm going to have to take their word on it. Now, conversely, when protein breakdown is greater than synthesis, it results in a muscle loss or atrophy. And you're gonna lose these motor units. Not only that, you're gonna lose these nuclei. You're gonna lose nuclei, motor units. You're gonna lose muscle mass. You're gonna deteriorate a bunch of stuff. You might even lose your teeth. Muscle turnover. Muscle tissue is in a state of constant turnover with the rates of MPS and muscle protein balances maintain muscle protein levels. Yeah. Hypertrophy. When the rate of protein synthesis exceeds the rate of protein breakdown over time, muscle mass increases over time. Muscle mass increases, leading to muscle hypertrophy over time. Not in one day. So, atrophy. If protein breakdown rates are higher than protein synthesis rates, muscle tissue is degraded, resulting in muscle loss or atrophy, and everything else in your body is going to be degrading. Motor unit loss. The loss of muscle mass and the deterioration of motor units are interconnected. You see what I mean, Borowski? They're interconnected, motor unit loss. The loss of muscle mass and the deterioration of motor units are interconnected. Muscle atrophy reduces the overall muscle bulk and strength, which can lead to the decrease in the function capacity and even loss of motor units that control muscle function. So if you're able to stay in positive nitrogen balance, then guess what? They're not going to lose these motor units. Get it? Or muscle mass, Broski. Get it, Broski? So forget about I am longevity. You thought he had the secret, eh? Well, guess what? The secret is in your pocket. It's called money. Money is the secret. Money. Resistance exercise stimulates muscle protein synthesis. Well, it can stimulate it, but it also contributing to muscle growth and preventing breakdown. But it also stimulates the window for protein breakdown. That's another problem. All right, nutrition. Consuming adequate protein, especially essential amino acids, supports muscle protein synthesis. Yeah. Inactivity, lack of physical inactivity or overall of the muscle accelerates muscle loss by reducing protein synthesis. Well, here's the thing. If obviously if you're not in positive net balance protein, right? And man, that's obvious. It's kind of obvious, then you'll lose it. So you don't need activity. You don't need any activity. That's a lie. Because if protein outpaces protein breakdown, well, guess what? It's not going to accelerate fuck all. See what I mean? So the lack of physical activity or overload is meaningless in this instant. See what I mean? Because it says to muscle accelerates muscle loss by reducing protein synthesis. Well, how does that? I don't know how that equates to that. It reduces protein synthesis. Protein synthesis it's always synthesizing proteins. What are you talking about? It doesn't reduce it. This is stupid. Aging. The natural process of aging also leads to a decline in muscle mass. But you won't age if you don't deteriorate. If protein synthesis, it said there in the beginning, if protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown, you're not going to age. You're not going to age. You're going to die one day, biological clock, but you're not going to age. So, but if you do age, it's going to lead to sarcopenia, partly due to the decrease from what? Muscle protein synthesis. So if it says due to the decreased muscle protein synthesis, but we're not decreasing it, we're increasing it. Get it? So this only happens when what? When muscle protein synthesis is decreased. If it's decreased, then you're going to age. The natural process of aging. Get it? This is not a that you could call it natural. It's not a natural. It's not a natural process. It's unnatural to age because you're eating an unnatural diet. And less effective responses to stimuli like exercise. There's going to be less responses to exercise stimuli. Well, I don't find any of that. I don't feel any of that. I don't have any of that. That's bullshit. By consistently maintaining a positive balance where synthesis outpaces breakdown, you can prevent muscle deterioration and preserve your motor units. See? So you don't have to exercise, okay? It's bullshit. And then you can read here, human muscle protein synthesis breakdown during the and after exercise. There's a thing here from NCBI, put in my community section. You can look it up and read up on it, okay, dude? So there you go. This is the solution to everything. This is the everything. This is the fountain of youth when protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown. Now, you could take it for whatever it is, and yeah, whatever, bro. But me, I already know what really works because I've put these things to the test. So I know they're not lying. Get it, dude? So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. There you go. So I am longevity is wrong. He says that jumping up and down in a field is going to somehow preserve it. Well, in science, it says that testosterone preserves these motor units. High testosterone will preserve it, like TRT or something. It aids in preserving it. But guess what? When protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown, it preserves these motor units. Get it? So you being in positive nitrogen balance, net positive nitrogen balance, helps. But because you're eating an artificial diet, you are always in negative nitrogen balance. You're kind of like all over the place. You're really more in negative than you are ever in positive. And that is a big problem. And that's why you're deteriorating faster than you're aging, losing your motor units, and a bunch of stuff. Get it, dude? So really, food is everything. Food, protein. Because you're on your natural animal carnivore diet, you don't need to worry about protein and any anti-nutrients, because there won't be anything that's knocking it off, because you'll be eating animal protein all day long, and you'll always be what? You'll always be in positive nitrogen balance, so you don't need to worry about that. That's why the looks-maxing guys, when they start eating raw carnivore animal meat, red meat, they all look good. They start looking better, younger, and better. Why? Because they're in positive nitrogen balance. They're wearing off deterioration. Get it? And their bodies look better, and their physical is better. They all say they feel stronger and a bunch of stuff. Why? Because food does everything. Exercise doesn't do that. Now, you can increase the recruitment of recruiting. You can recruit more motor units by doing exercise. But you're slaving now, get it? And when you're slaving, you'll deteriorate faster than you're aging. Yeah. Unless, of course, protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown too, slaving. That could save you. Do less slaving and do more eating. Eating is much more important than slaving, trust me. Slaving is good once, but eating for the rest of the week is a lot better. See you in the next one, friends. Ciao, my friends.